Good evening from Istanbul. First of all, I would like to start by introducing myself. I am Mehmet, an industrial engineering graduate student at Istanbul Technical University. And today I will present to you my work on smart cities and integrated Mcdm application for ranking smart cities. Before the Mcdm application, I would like to start by explaining what the concept of city and smart city is. As we know, since the beginning of human history, people have begun to live in communities and groups. As such, smaller human communities came to existence, which we called villages or towns. Then these human communities grew and formed structures called city. Cities have become a center of attraction because of, for example, job opportunities. As such, people start to attack the cities, and of course, the population of cities began to increase gradually. Cities that already have large populations have grown bigger and start to host even more and more people. However, some serious problems have started to be seen in the cities, and I think the most important of this problem is the rapid depletion of resources. And people and scientists try to find solutions to these problems. And one of these ideas, some new ideas came, and one of these ideas is the smart cities concept. In other words, we can say that the concept of a smart city was put forward in order to solve these problems created by the crowds of people in the cities. And for example, now 50% of people live in cities, and 70% of the energy is consumed in the cities. So it's very big problem for the cities. So smart city concepts try to solve this situation. And now I will give some information from the literature review. For example, according to Albino and the other authors, cities have started to develop gradually, and these developments in cities have brought some problems, such as air pollution, traffic congestion, public health problems. And here we can see the problems clearly. For example, according to Nunez, the concept of smart city has positive effects in quite different areas. Here we can say smart city has many different dimensions, not only one dimensions. Nunez described these dimensions as environment, economy, and transportation systems. According to study in China, cities should definitely not harm the environment while on the way being to smart. In a study, it was concluded that smart city applications reduce gas emissions by 20% and reduce industrial waste by 12% and create more environmentally friendly structures. And finally, according to Yiğitcanlar, and smart cities shouldn't only produce solutions. These solutions also should be sustainable. These problems should be permanent, maybe. And the concept of smart city has started to gain a lot of space in the literature, and these studies started to turn into smart city ranking studies over time. And in this study, I tried to create a model for ranking smart cities. First of all, criteria are determined by the literature review. And then performance matrix was constructed, and then the weights of criteria determined, and city which we used in this study were selected, and finally analysis was done by using Topsys and Prometheus methods. Here we can see the hierarchy of the study. In the top, in yellow boxes, we can see the main dimensions. As I mentioned previous slides, smart city concept has many dimensions, and in this study, I will use 6 different dimensions, which are economy, governance, transportation, quality of life, human capital, and environment. And the blue boxes, also we can say in the hierarchy, are the sub-dimensions. For example, economic situation, working studies, entrepreneurship, and tourism are the sub-dimensions of the economy dimensions. And also on the table, we can see the attributes for maybe we can say this is the criteria for I used sub-dimensions. And in this study, I used 33 criteria. As a result of literature review, 165 criteria were originally updated. However, after the first elimination stage, the criteria that were thought to occupy little space in the literature review were removed from the pool. And among the remaining criteria, the criteria for which up-to-date data couldn't be reached also eliminated. And finally, I reached 33 criteria. In this slide, we can see the excerpt of the performance matrix. And this performance matrix obtained by using the some certain indexes by the journals or cities' websites, countries' websites. And here, the weighting stage, importance of the criteria. First criterion weight determination was performed using the entropy methods. In the current situation, it has been appropriate to use the entropy methods because all our criteria, all our alternatives, and the scores of alternatives on the basis of criteria are certain. Entropy method is a method that calculates the criterion weight by considering the differences, irregularities in the performance matrix. And the criteria weights obtained by this method are also shown in the table. For example, the share of newly registered creative sector organization, number of library, and carbon dioxide emission are the most important criteria according to entropy methods. Secondly, the criterion weight was calculated by the AHP method. At this stage, a questionnaire was applied to the participants. Of course, care has been taken to ensure that these academicians are academics working in related fields. For example, city and urban planning department. Questions to be directed to a mass of 15 academicians were determined. Here, the academicians were asked to firstly compare the main dimensions and then compare the sub-dimensions, and finally compare the attributes in pairs. And after this questionnaire, I obtained these weights. For example, here, finally, green spaces, consumer expenditures on health products and medical services, and citizen participation criteria are the most important, 3 most important criteria according to AHP methods. And here, I would like to some information about how I select cities in this study. This study conducted in only European region, but it's the important point, all the cities represent the different region of the Europe. For example, Copenhagen and Helsinki represent to Northern Europe, Istanbul represent to Eastern Europe, Barcelona represent to Western, Amsterdam to Central Europe, and so on. And here we can see the result of my analysis made using the Topsys and Prometheus methods. At this point, I have just mentioned 2 different analysis methods, Topsys and Prometheus, and 2 different criteria weighting methods, entropy and AHP, were used. So we have 4 different scenarios. The results for each scenario are shown in this table. In the first scenario, where the entropy and Topsis method were used together, London is the most successful smart city, and Istanbul is the most unsuccessful smart city. According to the second scenario, which AHP and Topsis method were used together, again, London is the most successful smart city, Istanbul is the most unsuccessful smart city. In third scenario, which entropy and Prometheus method were used together, Paris is the most successful smart city. Helsinki is the most successful one. And the final scenario, Copenhagen is the most successful. Istanbul, again, is the most unsuccessful smart city. Okay, now I want to brief my conclusions. According to overall point, London is the best alternative, best smart city according to my alternatives, and Istanbul is the worst alternative. And here, as a result of this study, if it's necessary to make a recommendation for future studies, sensitivity analysis can add significant value to this study. And in addition, it can be told that the number of participants in the survey part is not insufficient. Increasing this number may make the result more reliable. In addition, the fact that the study was carried out only in the European region can be considered as another missing point, maybe. We can say that future studies can focus on cities outside the European region, because smart cities are not only in the European region, but also in many different continents, such as Asia and America, maybe. And thank you for your attention and listening. Is there any question?
Thank you, Mehmet, for this interesting presentation. You have 4 different rankings, depending on 4 different hybrid methodologies. Which one will we take into consideration? What's your opinion?
I think I can't say first one or second one is the best, because I want to just try to hybrid models, but now I can't say one of them is the best or one of them is the worst.
Okay. Do you have any questions or comments on Mehmet's presentation?
Why do you need these different methodologies? Couldn't you do everything with the AHP?
Sorry, I couldn't hear.
Sorry, maybe I should speak a little bit louder. Why do you need these different methodologies? Couldn't you solve it just using AHP?
Yes, maybe it can be enough, but I have performance metrics and all criteria and all performance values. So I want to try and I want to see the results, the entropy methods. Just,
for example, I don't think you need AHP and Topsis. Instead of AHP and Topsis, you can use AHP and you can eliminate some use. I think Dr. Topçu wants to say something. Go ahead, Dr. Topçu.
Yeah, Mehmet is a little bit excited, I guess.
Yeah.
And method is used when we need objective evaluation. So we are not asking anyone anything about prioritization of criteria. We are just looking at the data on hand. And by using entropy method in an objective way, we are finding importance. At AHP, you are right. We are asking people, so it's a subjective way. So we assume it would be interesting to compare both methods. And Prometheus is an outranking method. Topsis is a value-based method. So by making these integrations, we'll try to explore the problem from all points of view, let's say. Actually, Mehmet's supposed to say this, but he's a little bit.
It's okay. It's okay. I think you are the co-author, so yeah. And there was one study by Thomas Sati about these smart cities. Have you considered that one? Did you read it? I think he has a book about it. if I remember right. Yeah.
Yeah, it was 10 years ago or something like that.
I see.
Yeah, we updated, but maybe we should check because this is actually the Master of Science thesis of Mehmet, and we will try to transform this to a journal paper. During that paper, we can benefit from Sati's reference. Thank you for your contribution.
Thank you. Thank you.